Is Michael Saylor in trouble? Is MSTR going to go down? Why is he buying fiat instead of Bitcoin? People are sounding the alarms. Will they be the new Terra Luna, the new Voyager, the new FTX? We have that all broken down. Why did the markets go down yesterday? I made money short in the market, but why did it go down? Well, we might have an answer. And also, most important question, is Tim Waltz retarded? We're going to talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Jake, roll the intro. Welcome back. I'm excited to be here with you. Hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving weekend. Ate some turkey. I want to know in the chat, what was the most delicious thing you ate all weekend? What was the most delicious thing you ate all weekend, Brendan?
I mean, I had spaghetti on Thanksgiving.
Spaghetti?
Yeah.
Like turkey spaghetti?
No, spaghetti.
Like with meat?
Yeah, regular
like
spaghetti.
With turkey meat or like beef meat? You know they have ground turkey meat?
It was beef, ground beef.
So no turkey on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
The hell's wrong with you?
Well,
man?
I had turkey, but I had spaghetti too, and the spaghetti was really good.
I'm not one to talk. I didn't have any turkey.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
My wife didn't cook turkey.
What'd you have?
So she made delicious chicken and green bean casserole. Chicken and broccoli casserole.
Mm-hmm.
Made some homemade mac and cheese, some stuffing, potatoes, gravy. The Hawaiian rolls, delicious. What else did she make? She made she made these bomb-ass brownie a la mode with vanilla ice cream. I literally had to take the sheet pan upstairs because my 3 kids are absolute savages. Well, one, I'm worried about their sugar levels, obviously. So I had to take the entire sheet pan of brownies upstairs, and, let's say it's safe to say they're gone, and it only took 48 hours for, God knows, like 15 servings of brownies to be gone.
Where did those go?
Right here, baby. Packing on the heat. Anyways, guys, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Rob might jump in. He's a little tied up. You guys know we have multiple sides of our business, and I'll just leave it at that. Let's talk about what on God's green earth happened yesterday. I love God. I love earth. I love the color green. But this is not the color green. Take a look at this. This is like a roller coaster. Have you ever been to Six Flags Magic Mountain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know the Goliath? The big drop?
Yeah. Yep.
No, this is
the
Goliath.
I'm not going on that.
This is the Goliath, Bitcoin Goliath. This thing, I was watching it yesterday. It just completely was tanking. It fell, according to Kobe AC letter, $4,000 in 2 hours as mass liquidations had returned. $400 million worth of levered longs were liquidated in 60 minutes. And, I was on my 2-minute time frame here. Let me find where. I think it was... No, this was back here. Yeah, right here. So I had entered. I was shorting the market on Coinbase over the weekend, derivatives. It was last night. We lost the VWAP line, and we saw this massive spill-off, and the volume just erupted. And so I got in somewhere around here. That was my first trade. I got out. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. This was a super simple trades, getting in and out of trades for me. One, if I saw a yellow X, I would immediately get into a short on the candle close. So that was pretty simple. But two, anytime we'd come up and tap this VWAP line, right, our lower band 1, we flipped it once. And then when we lost it and attempted to retake it and we failed, I just kept getting into shorts. We'd have a little bit of relief rally. We'd come tap the top end of this VWAP and then another short. Until ultimately it kind of reversed after this large dip here down to like 84.7. And then again, it started falling off. So anyways, here's all my trades from yesterday. This is from the 30th is here. And let me go ahead and make this larger. A lot of people talk about they made money here, traded here. Well, I'm just going to show you guys. 88, these are all shorts, by the way. 88.7 got out at 88.3. 88.050 got out at 87.5. And I'm scalping like $300 to $500 at a time here, okay? This one got in at 87.2. This one I actually lost money on. This one I made money on 87,150. Got out at 86.73. This one I lost money on. I had a stop loss that hit. This one made like $200. This one made another like 250. And so you guys can see I was pretty active last night. My last trade, I gave back like $220. I literally bought the bottom. I got in at 84,085 and it rallied up. My stop loss was hit at 84,475. And so, yeah, I mean, my recommendation to you guys is the trend is clearly down. If you just zoom out to the daily on Bitcoin, right, you don't need to be crypto face or the best trader in the world to know that, hey, guys, we're in a downtrend, okay? We're in a downtrend. Short the resistance levels, long the support levels. If you see cascading liquidations and massive drawdowns and you see like two big-bodied red candles in a row like this, you can even go and use your Heikinashi.
I was just going to say that.
Okay? Just get in, market order that sucker, get in as soon as you can, and just have it just as soon as you get in, put in a tight stop loss just in case it's a false signal, a false move. You get stopped out and you're not losing money, especially if you're trading derivatives, perpetuals, or any sort of leverage, which on Coinbase with derivatives, you do have a little bit of leverage. I think it goes from 3 to 10x. So that's what I'll say is be careful, but short in the market is what you should be looking at right now. You will get some relief rallies, but the overall trend on the 6, the 8, the 12 day week, it's all down. So Brendan, how was your weekend, man? Have you were you getting into any trades? What's your kind of trading strategy with where kind of crypto's at? Bitcoin's kind of continues to make lower lows. What you got?
Yeah, I don't know. This weekend I didn't make a lot of trades. It wasn't really volatile from, I don't know, Thursday to.
It was flat as shit.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm not even gonna look at the charts. I even told my sister, she was in town. I was like, I need you to hold me accountable, and if I like try and look at the charts, like take me like take my phone away from me. So I was just really trying not to look at the charts and stuff. But Sunday I looked a little bit and I just didn't really see anything that I liked. And then today I was just looking at a couple trades on Solana because you know that's my bread and butter right there. But it works with Bitcoin, and you see that same big drop that Bitcoin had right here, and I just wasn't there to catch it yesterday, which is okay. That's called getting FOMO, which I don't want to do.
Amen
So,
to that.
yeah.
So
But
what is that, a trade setup you got going right now?
this is a trade setup that I'm looking for right here. I was looking at it. I don't know if I'm gonna get into it. This is
That is a long.
yeah, it's long. This is a key support level for Solana right here. Every time that we've hit this level,
What are those numbers there?
this is 121.6 and 127.1.
Okay.
So every single time that we hit these, we bounce off and make a rally. And then this is actually making a little bit of a resistance level up here. So we would go up to about 143 if this did what it's done every single time that we've rebounded off of this support down here.
I would personally, I would be very afraid to long the markets. That's just me. If you're longing and you're scalping and making money, cool. For me, you see crypto, when it goes down, it just cascades, and leverage makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, my only thing is I would just be very careful. Like, where do you have your stop? What is that, a 3-to-1 trade right there?
Yeah. No, it's a 1 to 2.5.
Okay, so 2.5 to 1.
Yeah.
And what's your exit there?
120 or my take profit?
Yeah, 128.
127.9. Yeah, 128 around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your stop loss is where?
123.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, if in my trading journey, there were certain, especially in options, there were certain tickers and stocks that you know the price action. Yeah. And you know when to enter, what it's going to do. You kind of study the behavior and you just trade that chart. I was doing that with Solana too, actually, about a couple of weeks ago. I was scalping longs and some shorts to the downside. But, I mean, here, you look at the 2-minute on Bitcoin. We just had a blood diamond flash on market side for A. Also, with a little bit of a trigger wave here for a short. Currently trading under 85K. I would just be very careful. We are currently still holding on to that VWAP lower band 1. which is your 84,851. We're currently, you see that rally above it. We also have a large volume node here. This is where a lot of the trading has happened. I mean, look at how thick this volume is right here, guys. It's from 84.7 up to 85.314. And so the thing with shorting, right, we're not really at a resistance level. At least price action hasn't shown us that. But we are at a two critical levels where we should see a bounce off of support. And so for me, this would be a false signal. This blood diamond, you can see here, we had a blood diamond flash. This candle brought us a 0.22% move, and then we rallied to the upside, put in some fresh highs, came back down. We held this low here from earlier this morning around 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you're seeing a rally off of the bounce off of that VWAP. VWAP is very important. I'd recommend all of you that are trading to add some sort of VWAP indicator on your charts if you're serious about making money trading. You can see here just how these bounces work. Great support resistance levels, my friends. And so on the way back up, you have your mid band here, your blue line, 86K. And this was the last stop before we had a spill off from 86.7 down to 83.8. This was a pretty big spill off. And if you were to short this market here, that's a 3.5% move, my friends. And if you're trading with any sort of leverage or you're using derivatives with any sort of leverage, that's a really nice trade. And by the way, my $300, $400, $500 scalps, those are 0.25% moves. Multiply that by what? 10, 12? That's pretty good money. And so keep those things intact, okay? And yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about kind of the markets. Let's see what's down. Or let's see what's up. Merlin chain is up. Tether gold is up, and everything else is down. The biggest loser, Zcash, taking an absolute destroying. My God, this is at $330. Rob was calling for a top here. Shit, bless you. Rob was calling for a top, what, a week ago? I said, I don't know. You call it top a lot. Well, it might be right this time. Brendan, if you want to queue up a Zcash chart real quick, take your time. I'm just going to kind of talk about my thesis here on Zcash. I've said, and my biggest fear, it's not really a fear, but my biggest hesitation is a privacy meta. I don't know if it's over, but is it tapered off? Are people not as excited, or did people take profits and they're out of the markets completely? I don't know the answer to that question. There is some, I don't want to say FUD, but there's some discussion around governance voting. The same way, Cardano has governance voting with the token holders. It sounds like Zcash wants to do that with governance, whoever, holds X amount of coins or whatever. And Vitalik and a lot of people have come out against it and said, hey, this would not be a good idea. It would go against the whole privacy narrative. Please don't do this. So I don't know if it's that FUD or the indecision, uncertainty that's kind of clouding the price action and bringing this massive rally to a halt here. You can see we are below the month's open, and on the year, right, we still look good on the year. I'm actually going to look at a Zcash chart as well really quick, and then we'll hop over to Brendan. Let's get rid of that. So Zcash, let's check the daily. I mean, this is a massive spill off, and if we just, I'm curious where the Fibonacci levels are here. We're going to take this move from this initial rally here. Let's draw our Fibonacci's to the wick high. And guys, we're right in our gold pocket on the daily time frame. Your 6.5 level is at 311.89. And so keep that in mind. We could see a bounce, but man, the direction that the markets are in, I would be very, very careful trying to catch a falling knife here. You can go all the way down and retest your 786 level, which is $220.88. You take a look at price. We had a little bit of consolidation here on the Zcash chart before ultimately the next leg up took us to around was a 158% rally. And then we had that essentially so far cycle high at around $745. I would be careful unless you are buying and holding this thing for a substantial period of time. And when I say substantial, of course, I'm speaking in crypto terms, which is 2 years. Substantial is a year. And so I would just be careful. But if you're looking for a level to get in on Zcash, and if you're like, hey, I'm a big privacy guy, I want to hold this project, I don't care about short-term price action, 311.89, and then further down is $220. Those are your key levels to look out for on Zcash. What are you seeing on that chart there, Ben?
Yeah, I'm just looking at just some little, just like.
What time frame are you on?
I'm a 30-minute.
Okay.
I'm on a 30-minute. Up here around $700, $710. And then it wicked all the way up to around $740, which is what you were just talking about. And then it's like, that's like its key support level. So every time it hits there, it pushes back down. Even if it's a smaller move back down, it still pushes down, even though this is not really a small move, but it is it's more smaller than these ones right here. But we've caught resistance around this area right here, 426 to 458 every single time, and we recently just pushed past it today.
You mean support?
Or yeah, this support level right here. We pushed right through that support level right there, and now we're just moving in a downtrend. So our next level of support would be, I guess, here.
I would move it up, dude. Right there, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what, let's see if there's any confluence there with the fib levels. Why don't you click on that box for me? Let's see what those levels are.
290, 317.
290, 317. So 317 is right where your 6.5 level is, your gold pocket. 290 is a little higher than your 786. But again, those are levels. I would, again, I personally am not buying this thing. Obviously, a couple months ago, tune was different. Markets also were different. And so you got to just be nimble and be able to move with the markets, man.
Yeah.
And these metas, they go fast, right? Whatever the next meta is, whether it's base, AI, RWA, coin, whatever, man, get in and take your profits, especially if Bitcoin is not above $100,000. Get in, take your profits early, have a profit-taking strategy, and you can still make money. But don't sit there and hold this thing and think it's a 6-month hold. We're talking in weeks, not months. Sometimes we're talking in days. The flash in the pans, I wouldn't chase those. But the larger, like we just saw with privacy, Dash ran, Zcash ran, Monero ran. There's a bunch of other coins that ran. What's next? And if we find what's next and it starts running or in projects, we got to take profits early. All right. A lot of people are saying, why are the markets down? Well, I might have somewhat of an answer for you, my friends. Take a look at this. Hop on. Thank you, Japan. Thank you, Japan. Can we do a favor? Can we, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I am going to do that because this dude is annoying the shit out of me. Okay. Japan's 10-year government bond yield surges to 1.84%, its highest level since 2008. The chart is concerning to say the least. Now, a little more, insight into, well, what does Japan's bond yields, David, have anything to do with crypto? Let me tell you. Japan's bond shock is a global red flag. Guys, macro is kind of effed right now. Overseas, China, Japan, the U.S., down south, up north, yada, yada, yada. And so people look outwards. What's happening on the macro level? If that's good, then they work their way in to certain economies, equities, bonds, stocks, whatever it is. Right now, the macro is, it's screwed. So Japan's 10-year government bond yield just surged to 1.84%, its highest level since 2008, okay? Now, rising domestic yields make it increasingly attractive to keep that capital at home, reducing the appetite for foreign bonds at historically low rates. May I remind you, Japan is the largest holder of United States government treasuries, okay? So the idea is very simple. The reason a lot of the Japanese investors, their money was not staying in Japan, well, because they could get better yields elsewhere. Again, the highest since 2008. Japan, historically, the Bank of Japan has had very low interest rates, literally zero, sometimes negative. And so that money is chasing more money. And so it would make its way to U.S. treasuries, U.S. equities, yada, yada. But now that that's changed, You have the yen carry trade, which people borrowing against a cheap yen. Now the yen is getting stronger. People are getting margin called. It's turned essentially upside down, okay? Money's not cheap anymore. Liquidity's drying up in Japan. And although they're not the number one economy, I think they're number 3. Will you fact check me on that real quick, Brennan? Go to Google. Where does Japan rank economy globally? I think they're number 3. Someone in the chat also correct me. Okay? And so that money's not leaving Japan anymore. It's like, you know what? We'll just keep our money here and we'll earn the whatever percentage amount is on top of the carry trade. And so it spooked the markets. That's why, guys, yesterday, Asia markets got up and, well, Bitcoin dumped, crypto dumped. And so with that being said, I think this is going to continue for a little bit of time. What is it? Fourth. Who's number 3? Brazil?
I have no idea. It doesn't, I don't have actually, let me look right here. I got you.
So I know it's U.S., China. Who's number 3?
U.S. And then, all right. Are we going to do this?
Isn't there a table up
Okay,
there?
U.S., China, Japan, Germany.
So Japan is number 3.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Based off of what AI told me, it's 4 though.
AI's...
Maybe Germany passed them up and we don't know.
I highly... No, zero chance.
Well, based off of 2020... Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's Germany, then Japan.
That's what year? 2025?
2023.
We got to check 25 or 24 at least. Very interesting. But anyways, so I think this macro overhang is going to continue. It's going to spook investors. Sure, the Fed's going to cut rates. QT is ending. Can we see quantitative easing? Yes. But I think what's happening behind the scenes in Asia and just global macro, the Ukraine war, it's just a lot of uncertainty. So it might be chopped, trending down. We might see Bitcoin create a base around like 80K. Maybe it dips into the 70s. I don't know. But at some point, there's going to be a massive liquidity injection and you're going to see everything skyrocket. Literally skyrocket. But there's just too much uncertainty for investors to go both hands into their investments at this point, in my personal opinion. So, okay. Let's move on. I have a funny video to show you. So this is posted by a friend, Digital Asset News. Crypto traders looking at their portfolios right now.
He knows I'm not impressed.
Ooh, he's turning
Yeah, walk
around.
away.
Oh, let me check my portfolio real quick. Oh, and it's just exploded with... That ain't chocolate. That's doo-doo, baby. Name the comedian in the chat. I'll give you a on-the-air high five. That makes no sense. Anyways, I'll give you your props. Name the movie that I just said that quote from.
I don't even know it.
Anyways, it's a little something to cheer people up, you know?
Yeah.
A little something to cheer people up.
Make somebody laugh.
Okay. There's some good takes on social media, right? And we'll get into why on the thumbnail it shows XRP and Avalanche and says I'm out or sell. I forget the words I use. I'll tell you why I sold. Also to our Patreon members, I did post a personal portfolio update yesterday. What I'm selling, buying, and what I'm holding. And so you guys always get the first information there. So just if you haven't gone and looked, please go ahead and look. So this is from Nick ALGO. Bitcoin didn't dump because of bad news. It dumped because the clock flipped. UTC closed, new day, new week, new month, and an obscene amount of algos fired almost simultaneously. It's not traders making decisions. It's portfolios rebalancing in real time, which you should be balancing your portfolio also very regularly. Or else you're going to get stuck with doo-doo like that gorilla at the zoo. Okay? Inventory adjusted, hedges reset, risk flush. The candles look emotional, but the behavior is mechanical. So how much lower can Bitcoin go? I think that's what everyone wants to know. At the end of the day, guys, I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could it go down to the 60s? Maybe. Could it go down to 50? I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. My bet is we hit the low mid 70s. We chop sideways. Maybe we get a wick down to sub 70 and then we come right back up. There's a lot of Bitcoin changing hands, and there's a lot of FUD around MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, and the 650,000 Bitcoin that they currently hold right now. We'll get into that here in a second. Here is a pretty cool post here from Cointelegraph. State of crypto this week. Bitcoiners accused JP Morgan of rigging the game against MicroStrategy, And corporate Bitcoin treasuries with proposed leveraged Bitcoin-backed notes launching December 2025. Animoca Brands founder Yatsu bets on altcoin upside ahead of planned IPO. Of course he is, because, well, their planned IPO, he's not going to come out and say, yeah, the markets are effed because, well, he's launching, the company's going public. Anyways, predicting altcoins will collectively outperform Bitcoin over the largest space. Okay, sure. Tom Lee softens his 250K Bitcoin a year-end call. Well, thank God, because they were sounding kind of ridiculous, suggesting Bitcoin could reach 100K before the end of the year. But he's backing away from his 250K. Obviously, guys, zero chance in my mind Bitcoin gets to 250K at the end of the year. We'll be lucky if we sniff 100. In my opinion, I think December is going to continue to be red. And I think January, February, March, first quarter, I think we see some reversal. And then depending on the Clarity Act and what the markets decide to do, that could be a scenario to where markets reverse. We start rallying again, potentially. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. What I do know is what's happening now and how I'm positioning myself to make sure that I don't bleed out my entire portfolio and have to go pick up a job at McDonald's.
Ooh.
Okay, this one, Conor McGregor calls out Khabib, okay? Thailand orders Sam Altman's WorldCoin to delete the 1.2 million iris scans. Jesus Christ. They got 1.2 million eyeball scans in Thailand? Damn. Okay, so they're telling him, hey, you got to delete it. Over data privacy violations after raiding scanning locations in October. Thank God they got rid of that. President Trump says he's chosen his next federal chair reserve, saying he's going to announce it soon. There's rumors that it's Kevin Hassett, former advisor to Coinbase. So, guys, we've literally, the crypto industry has infiltrated every branch of government so far, pretty much. Treasury Secretary, guy's bullish. The SEC, the guy is bullish. The Vice President, the guy's bullish. The President, I don't know if he cares that he's bullish, but he's definitely making money on crypto. That's pretty cool, right? So the next Fed chair could have some ties to crypto. Keep that in mind. With Bitcoin cooling off and altcoins heating up, where's your conviction heading into December? I'm curious, guys. I want to know in the chat. December 31st, at the stroke of midnight, going into the 2026, the new year, what is Bitcoin's price? I want you guys to throw some price predictions in the chat for me. I am curious. I want to know where you guys think. What do you think, Brendan? What's your end of the year Bitcoin price prediction? Where do you think Bitcoin is?
I have no idea.
I know that's the point. None of us know, but you just have to throw a random number out there, you know?
I think if this pushes down to 82, we could see it close around, I don't know, 70, mid-70s.
So I think it'll close lower than what it is now.
Yeah. But I think that if it catches resistance right here, like it did last time, it made a big move to the downside, or support right here, like it did last time, it made a big move to the downside, then I think that it'll shoot back up and maybe end around 90. Maybe.
Okay.
That's my prediction. I don't know, though. It's been a wild card. It does whatever the hell it wants.
So. Yeah. I guess my end of the year, where Bitcoin's price is December 31st, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. I want to say like 91, man. I think it'll be higher than what it is now. I think we'll see a little bit of a rally towards the end of the year. It's either going to be 91 or low 70s. It just depends on what happens in Japan. It depends on, a lot of factors that a lot of people are just indecisive about. Yeah, prognosis said between 75 and 80K. Vinod Patel said 95. Craig said 101. Okay, Craig, you think over 100K. Interesting. Mike Volmer, 68K. So it's, damn, okay.
72.5.
Yeah, Dadbod is very bullish. Okay, Dadbod, you think we're going to get a December rally, huh? Let's take a look at CoinGlass.
December price action is always interesting, though.
It is very interesting. Let's take a look at, if this loads, come on. Bitcoin returns. Historically, December on average has brought in 4% returns. Its median return is negative 3.5%. And every time we've had a red November, 2022, red November, red December. 2021, red November, red December. 18 and 19, red November, red December. So, but it flip-flops, right? If November is a big drawdown, December is usually mild. And vice versa. If November is mild, like in 2021, December is a sharper drawdown. And so if we put this negative 17% against its median relative to what we've seen, right? We've seen here in 2022, 16% drawdown, December was only 3.5%. 2019, 17% drawdown, December was only 5%. And so it kind of tracks as far as December ending somewhere between 4 to 7% down from the open, which we're kind of there now. And so if you sit there and you are, you like to look at historical price action and whether this is something that's going to translate to where we're going, you can argue Bitcoin should close between $82,000 and $86,000 at the end of the year. So, yeah. Broker said 94.95. I got 105K from Poman. Interesting. Again, no one knows. We have no idea. But at the end of the day, we take our best guess. Okay. We have to watch this. Have you seen this?
Yeah, this is great.
So this is President Trump talking about Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
In that same post, you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find inoffensive or retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with it. Absolutely, sure.
But you don't think that...
You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars.
Anyways, it's just funny. The president's out here calling governors retarded.
There's people of his own. That's he runs. I don't know.
Oh, this has been a very interesting year. At least we get our laughs. We get our news stories that we scratch our heads like, what? What happened? Very interesting. Okay. I want to talk about the markets. I'm going to talk about Avalanche and XRP. You want to queue up those two charts? I'll come to you in a second.
Yeah.
Let's talk about XRP, okay? Now, yesterday, I put up a post on Patreon. Let me check here real quick. Make sure my numbers are accurate. Done a lot of reevaluating and redoing everything. Whenever I need something, I always get these dumbass prompts. So, my XRP position, I have sold 80% of. So, my original allocation of obviously 100% allocation, I've trimmed that by 80%. So if I had, let's say, 10,000 XRP using hypothetical numbers, I only have 2,000 XRP left now. And I'll give you guys my reasoning behind this, okay? Number one, the whole idea of banks are going to use XRP and run on XRP, no matter how bullish you're on the project, we're not seeing it. The banks are choosing not only their own stable coin, but their own layer ones or layer ones of legacy companies that have launched their own layer ones, like Stripe. Okay? Number two, the constant sell pressure, right? The amount held in escrow from Ripple Labs, that hasn't changed. I know in 2027 it's supposed to be 0, but when I look at XRP, I say, is the risk to reward worth it? And I got in, my average buy was around 58.60 cents. So even though I sold when price was down, I still made money. And I'm still holding 20% because I still think it could do something. But having the allocation I had, I just did not feel comfortable. I think the payments, we're starting to see where the banks are going to go, where the institutions are going to go, how money's going to move. And I honestly think instead of trying to point to 1, 2, or 3 crypto projects and say, it's going to be this one, no, it's going to be this one, no, it's going to be this one. If you want crypto exposure to the payment side of things, go with Chainlink. Chainlink. I was going to say maybe Circles. They have a cross-chain interoperability protocol as well. But in that case, you would have to go to the stock market and buy the Circle stock. If you want to stay in crypto, I think the safest is Chainlink. It's connecting all of them. Doesn't matter if they do their own blockchain, if it's a private, if it's a public, if it's an L2, if it's an L1. It does not matter. Chainlink links them all and provides the protocol for money to go in and out of no matter where it's from, private or public. So for me, that was the thesis for XRP. Now, I know they got the custody side of the business. They got this and that. Strategic reserve, the ETF launch, it was pretty successful. I don't know if that's going to matter. I didn't feel comfortable with the allocation at XRP, so I reduced it by 80%. The second one, and it pained me to do this. It pained me extremely painfully. That didn't make sense, I know. Don't laugh. Let's see. I think it was 70%. Yeah. My AVAX position, I brought down by 70%. So instead of holding 10,000 AVAX, I now hold 3,000 AVAX. If that were, I don't have 3,000 AVAX, but those are some round numbers. And I have always said that Avalanche has the most amount of potential verticals. Okay? Gaming. Gaming hasn't done anything, so let's remove that. Payments. It's got payments. It's got the stable coins, but are people using them? Not really. Okay. Infrastructure. L1s. Okay. Evergreen subnets. They work, they have a partnership with the DMV of California. That's more an RWA side, but let's stick on payments for a second. And again, goes back to the XRP argument of, well, the banks are doing their own thing. They're going private. So I kind of scratch payments. It's got a chance, but, there's the ETH is getting more, Base is getting more, Solana is getting more. And then you have RWAs, right? The partnership with the DMV of California. Outside of that, guys, what have we heard from RWAs on AVAX, my friends? Have you heard anything? Not really. Tokenomics are fine. It's got a capped supply. I don't know. I was a lot more bullish on AVAX than I am last week when I was reevaluating my portfolio or late last week. And so I decided to trim my position by 70%. Now, I'm going to look at my phone again because I don't want to pull my Patreon up. I want to keep the people that are supporting the channel. I want to make sure they get some info that the average people don't get. So outside of those two, there's another 4 altcoins that I trimmed, okay? One of them I completely got out of. You know what? Which this one I'll share with you guys because I don't want you guys stuck in this thing if you're kind of on the same wavelength I'm on. I got rid of all my Athena. I took an L on that trade. It was a decent-sized L2. I took some profit as the price rallied up to like 70, 80 cents. My average cost was around 42 cents or 40 cents. So majority of it, I sold at a loss, but I did take some profits, but that's okay, right? Athena, with what happened on October 10th, a lot of their ecosystem plays, their stable coins, a lot of them depegged. It's very unstable. It's not as competitive, let's say, rates-wise, as it was prior and what others are offering. So for me, my thesis was invalidated. I 100% got out. I don't have a single Athena coin, 0. So that I got out 100%. There's outside of those 3, there's 3 more that I share with Patreon. I also bought some. My number 1 buy was Aerodrome. I'll just tell you, 12.5% of my dry powder was put into Aerodrome. That flywheel, when it kicks in, it hasn't made its way to the markets yet. When it kicks in, you're going to see a supply shock. Now, obviously, there's tons of selling. The markets are down. It's a bearish sentiment. So you're going to see selling outpace. But, man, you start seeing any sliver of allocations coming in and people buying, this thing is going to move up rapidly. It's in the Base ecosystem. I think Base is a winner this cycle. I think a Base token is coming. I think they've all but confirmed it for the most part. And so the number 1 DEX, Aerodrome, I want a piece of the pie. I had a little bit. I needed to increase that exposure. So Aerodrome was my number 1 buy with 12.5% of my dry powder allocated to an Aerodrome purchase. I also bought another 5 or 6, which again, the Patreon members, you guys know which ones those are. But AVAX and XRP, guys, I'm out. I kept a little more AVAX than I did XRP. I think the infrastructure is great. The team is great. It's just, it needs something, man. We're in the cycle of utility. We're in the cycle of what have you done for me lately? And the whole idea of we can do this and we're going to do this, that doesn't matter. Are you doing anything now? And is it translating into your token price going up? If it's not, your money is sitting there and you're losing money every day from opportunity costs. It's being inflated away. And obviously with the price going down. So that's kind of where I'm at. What's your Avalanche? Well, what chart do you have up? Is that XRP or AVAX?
AVAX.
Okay. What's price action telling us on AVAX, dude? Is there any like big support level that if people think I'm crazy and they want to buy Avalanche, is there any support level that they should eye?
It's in it right now.
It's in it now.
Yeah. This is the support level, 12.4 and 12.6. This is where, but it pushed straight through the shorter support level that we had up here around 13.8, around $14. And it's now going down.
Fell.
So it's probably going to push through this and continue to go down. I think you're 100% right. I don't think anybody should be buying this right now.
Now, let me ask you the reverse question. If someone's like, okay, David, yeah, I agree with you. I want out, but I don't want to sell in the big dip. If the price rallies, where should people have an eye on a big resistance level that you think is highly likely to reject and continue to and continue downside? Is it that gray box up there, 13 to 14 bucks?
Yeah. Yep. That's probably where, that's probably where I would hold it to and then get out right there. And then I think it would reject right back off of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to reject. To be honest, I think it's going to shoot straight through this support right here and just continue to plummet.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know.
So what's the down? So, okay. So where can it catch some support if it does lose that 1246 level?
I don't even. Let's
You'd
go
have
out
to
to
go
the
to your
day.
higher time frame.
Yeah, let's go out to the day. Or even the 4 hour we can look at. Hold on.
Guys, while Brendan's doing this, do us a favor, sub to the channel. Make sure you like the video. These are small and simple things. It's a bear market. We need all the help we can get, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's never actually been.
Yeah, you just go. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, there's a cluster right there.
Yeah, I mean, right here
10
is.
bucks, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say $10.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh shoot, I'm drawing.
Yeah, I mean, I actually made money even though I trimmed my Avalanche position. My average entry cost was like $9, like $8.80 or something like that. And so I made money on Avalanche.
I don't know what that.
I could have obviously, I did take a little profit of like $26. Not anything crazy. Obviously, in hindsight, should have taken more profit off the table at that price level. But yeah, I mean, I'm good holding the 30% I have left. I'm fine holding it down to that $9, $10, whatever. It goes to $5-6. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think Avalanche is dead. I'm not ready to say it's dead. I'll put it to you this way. Right now, I'd rather hold AVAX than Cardano. Speaking of Cardano, that made the chop list too, by the way.
I would rather hold Cardano or anything than Cardano.
You'd rather hold anything over Cardano?
Yeah, I'd get like.
Why is the price
like
action?
6-7 coin? Like I'm not. I'm not doing anything with Cardano.
Okay, why is that?
I don't like. It does whatever the hell it wants. Like I can't predict what it's gonna do. Some days it's like, ooh, today I want to go up 4%, and then the next day it's like, now I want to go down 37%.
The problem is it rarely gets those. I want to go up 4%, but I can argue that that's everything for me. Cardano is more on a fundamental side. Obviously, price action is abysmal. If we just simply bring up, where's my chart? If we simply bring up ADA versus Bitcoin, I mean, bruh, this is pretty brutal, dude. Let me get rid of this. For the last 4 years, think about this, you guys. For the last 4 years, if you decided to hold Cardano instead of Bitcoin, your portfolio would almost be zero. You'd put in 10 grand and you'd be down to like $1,000. Yeah. So, and to be fair, a lot of altcoins look like this against Bitcoin, but not nearly 92% from peak 4 years ago. I mean, at what point was this thing outperforming Bitcoin? It had little spurts. I had a little spurt here, a little one here, and then blah, 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 blah. Don't ask me what that.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just said don't ask me.
Well, I just did.
I know.
Okay.
Don't ask me again.
Okay, my bad.
I forgive you. So, yeah, I mean, now there's talks of, well, yeah, they're going to approve the 70 million Cardano proposal and this and that. I'll believe it when I see it. I want to see Tether. I want to see Circle. I want to see Chainlink. And I want to see a fucking DEX people use. Okay? I know there's MinSwap. I know. Give me some dApps, bro. Why should people go on your chain and stay there? I think a great start is stablecoins, which they said they're doing. But again, we've heard the 2025 roadmap. Nothing happened. Bitcoin DeFi, nothing happened. What else? Everything else they promised, it didn't happen. And so I'm a wait and see with Cardano. I trim my position heavily. I have some left because I love the community. And I think Charles is a smart dude that will figure it out, I hope. But I'm not comfortable having any sort of large position or allocation to Cardano right now. Not comfortable at all. So, and I'd rather hold AVAX than Cardano, to be honest. That's why I trim more Cardano than I did AVAX, or I've been trimming more Cardano than AVAX. So yeah. Okay. I'm curious. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think I'm crazy? I thought you were going to say something. I want to know, Cardano, we talked about Cardano, AVAX, and XRP. I want you guys to rank them in order of what you're comfortable holding, right? If I were to rank them in order, I would put XRP, Avalanche, XRP, and Cardano. Yep. I'd have the highest confidence in AVAX, second highest in XRP, third highest in Cardano. I want you guys watching to rank them the same way I did. But what do you feel more comfortable holding and what's your least comfortable? So 1 through 3, Cardano, Avalanche, and XRP. With that being said, speaking of uncomfortable, let's talk about how uncomfortable Michael Saylor is getting. There is a lot of FUD around Michael Saylor and strategy as I strategically drink my water.
Whoa.
You know why that was a strategic drink of the water?
Why?
Because this one makes a weird gulp, gulp, gulp noise if you put your mouth directly on it. So you got to like, top lip doesn't touch it, bottom lip does.
I didn't hear the noise.
That's strategically. I know, because I meant it that way.
Ah.
Yeah. As there's nothing to do with what we're talking about, but just wanted you to know
I
that.
get it. I understand.
You're welcome.
That was good.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Saylor posted this yesterday, and everyone's like, what? What the hell's a green dot, bro? Is he buying Ethereum Classic? No, he's not. We figured out what it was. So he posted this, I believe it was, when was this? November 30th, yesterday at 5 in the morning. It was up early. What if we start adding green dots? Well, guys, we know red or orange dots were Bitcoin. So we're like, green dot, what's green dot? Okay, what color is green? Okay, we got Ethereum Classic, we got Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, you're going to buy Bitcoin Cash. Oh my God, no, it's not. They bought the very thing they've complained about. Dollars. What? Okay. Michael Saylor's strategy has established a dollar reserve of $1.44 billion. That's billion with a B. Now, this is their war chest for dividend payments. Right now, strategy needs to pay $750 million in annual dividends. This means that strategy now has enough funds to cover 23 months of dividend payments. MicroStrategy FUD of selling Bitcoin should be over now. I don't know about that because I'll show you here in a second. So everyone was like, well, if the NAV is negative and Bitcoin continues to go down and they can't sell more of their, their stock price is plummeting, so their valuation is down, so they can't use it to raise more money to buy Bitcoin. How are they going to pay the dividends? Michael Saylor was like, okay, fine. We'll buy $1.5 billion. We'll give ourselves 2 years of runway. And his bet, in my opinion, is in 2 years, Bitcoin will continue its climb up. Will it? I don't know. there's a thought in my brain, the hamster wheel spin of what happened in the early 2000s. Everything with .com rallied, then everything crashed, everything stayed flat for 6 years, and then everything started going back. Not everything, but the select few who made it started rising again. Could we be in the same situation with crypto? I think it's very low likelihood, but I think it's definitely an idea you should entertain. And if that's the case, then it started 2 years ago. So do we have 4 more years of sideways price action? I don't know. But hey, if Bitcoin follows typical cycles and 2028 is a rally into the halving, then he's fine. But I wouldn't expect any large Bitcoin purchases. Looks like they're going to start adding to this dollar reserve for their dividend payments. But they're catching FUD from everywhere, from legacy banks like JP Morgan Chase. They're getting downgraded by Moody's and the S&P. I think it's a hunt. They're trying to liquidation hunt Michael Saylor. Hopefully everything checks out. This worried me a little bit, my friends. When I saw this worried me. Take a look at this. This was posted by Saylor, okay? We know this is their product. They just upped their dividend percentage from, like, I think it was 3.5, guys, to 10.7%. Now, this is annually, but paid monthly. So it's a little less than 1% a month. Okay. Now, when I think of things, okay, and I'll give you an example. There's this crypto project, okay, that raised a lot of money. Their product is launched already. They have a working product. They have a token. And they reached out about 4 weeks ago and said, hey, we're doing another funding round and we're doing a 2x multiplier on the tokens. So if you put in $5,000 in this round, you'll get $10,000 worth of tokens. Immediate red flag. My first question was, well, are you guys launching a new product? They're like, no. I'm like, so what's the money for? Oh, for runway and marketing. Yep, I'm out. I had some of the token because I was airdropped it. Sold all that. I said, no, thank you. We're good. And this is a project that we potentially were going to work with. Again, I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say the name of the project. Immediate red flags went up. With this one, it's like, hey, guys, there's all this FUD. Our NAV is going down. The stock price is tanking. We got downgraded. We had to come out and say, hey, look, we just bought $1.5 billion of USD, so we have runway. And then you go in and you raise the rate to obviously try to get new investors in. But just be careful. If you hold MicroStrategy stock, guys, this would be if, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, okay? But if you don't think of the circumstances, if you don't play these scenarios in your head, you will be caught with your pants down, okay? And you don't want to be caught with your pants down unless you're in a certain place waiting for a certain something.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yep. Yeah.
You're a young kid. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, new type trader. No, it was not Sire. It was not Sire. If it was, I would have told the community. But no one in the community has a token. I highly, highly doubt it. We haven't talked about it in a very long time. So anyways, you got to play these scenarios out in your head. If MicroStrategy blows up, that would be, I think, worse than Terra Luna, FTX, and Voyager combined, in my personal opinion, because it would be forced selling. And think about this. How many people, how many institutions are going to want 650,000 Bitcoin OTC? Maybe I'm wrong and maybe there's a lot of it, but I bet you, I don't know about a majority, but a good portion of it will be sold on the order books, which directly affects the price. OTC does not directly affect the price. So I'm just saying, be careful. The signs point to there's might be some going on there, right? That's a big jump, 10.75%. You're trying to raise money. And so, yeah, that's my thought on it. And then here you have this from the Kobesi letter. It's the last thing I'll share on strategy. This is absolutely insane. MicroStrategy's market cap is now worth $10 billion less than their Bitcoin holdings. Okay, think about that. Their market cap, so they are a Bitcoin treasury company, and their valuation of their company as a whole, which owns the Bitcoin, is less than their Bitcoin holdings. So it's either a great opportunity to arbitrage or something is really wrong. MSTR is down 12% today and 57% since October 6th. This puts the company's market cap at $45 billion. Meanwhile, Strategy holds 650,000 Bitcoin worth $55 billion. In other words, MicroStrategy's market cap is now trading $10 billion below the value of their Bitcoin holdings. Even if you subtract MicroStrategy's current debt pile of $8.2 billion from their current holdings, they still hold $46.8 billion worth of Bitcoin on a net basis. Their net Bitcoin holdings are still $1.8 billion above their current market cap, not including any cash, which we know they have another $1.5 billion in cash. Can Saylor keep buying? I think the answer is no. To a certain degree, not anything substantial. Can they keep buying 50 Bitcoin at a time? Sure. But if we're in any sort of prolonged bear market, or if my worst case scenario of a 2000s style crash and kind of chop sideways for 6 years, if that happens, that does not spell good for MicroStrategy. I'm not trying to spread FUD. I'm giving you my personal opinion. That's all I got, man. You got anything else?
No.
All right. We're done with the show today. Want to thank you all very much for tuning in. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Bro, you got to wait for the tornado, dude. Jesus Christ, man. You're fired.
Sin City
Just kidding.
Crypto.
You're hired. I like it. Anyways, tornado doesn't matter anymore. And so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners.